Welcome back to another Easy Mind reaction, guys. Today we are reacting from the channel The Art of Improvement, title being Why Most People Will Remain in Mediocrity. Mediocrity. I was tripping. But yeah, let's see if they have anything in the description. No, just a lot of links. All right, so I guess we're gonna have to watch it to find out what it is about. Show less. Show less. Gonna be in. I don't think there's any much more to say. Turn on 1080p. Make sure the captions. Make sure the captions are turned on. Okay, they're on now. Okay, yeah. Let's get right into the video.
Most people will never be truly successful. The pull towards mediocrity is too strong. As David Schwartz once penned, all around you is an environment that is trying to pull you down to second-class street. Most people will never escape the pull. Much of the thinking around us is small-minded. Most people are overly concerned with beating the other guy, usually through manipulation and politics. As a result, they're left fighting for scraps with the other 99%. It doesn't have to be this way. A life of your deepest dreams, 100% financial independence, being your own boss, traveling the world with your family, whatever is available if you know where to start. But most people will never turn away from the safety and security of the crowd to realize this.
Most people are not willing to fail. We can be truly successful only at the things we are willing to fail at. Mark Manson. I think that's especially true. Um, Finding a way to relate to this, I can take a look at pinpoint exactly what I'm doing with this channel or what I've been doing with my writing or the songs I've been putting out. I think I explained it one time. You know, a lot of the videos I watch are closely related in topic as they all have to do with betterments, advancement, if you will, of the individual. But uh well, I was referring to an interview that was taking place between Giveon, pretty well known R&B artist, and Zane Lowe, interviewer, part of the music community. And essentially, Giveon was telling this story about this conversation he had with, I think, a mentor he was talking about, but just asking him or, talking about whether or not the music in which he was putting out at the time, did he love it enough to the point that he could continue doing it, even though there was the off chance, or I don't know if it's off, but the chance that nobody will ever be able to listen to it or hear it. And you have to sit for that for a while and really uh, um, ponder on that thought, and ask yourself, whenever whatever you're doing, whatever endeavor you're undergoing, just ask yourself, is this something that truly gives me enough comfort to the point where if it is only I that ever get to know about what it is I'm doing, I'll be okay, or I'll be content with that. And everything which I'm doing right now, I had to sit there and ask myself about that. And I enjoy watching these videos, reacting to them, reviewing them. I enjoy writing. I enjoy communicating with others. I enjoy communicating with myself, taking time to meditate or just sit with thoughts. All those things in which I do give me enough comfort to where I truly believe that, because it's not like even at this point I'm talking to anybody or like there's anybody watching me at this point, but every day I come home from work and I'm genuinely excited to react to these videos, because although there may not be a lot of people watching, I'm still taking part in this. I still have to account for myself, and I make sure to make conscious effort to do that. So yeah, when can true we can truly be we can be truly successful only at the things we're willing to fail at. So if I'm the only one that gets to hear this, do this, takes note of what I'm doing, if that's referring to failing, if that's a thought to be failing, and so be it. But I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Most people hate failure. They run from it. In their eyes, if they suck at something, it means they suck. Since their self worth is tied directly to their performance, any failure is proof they aren't good enough. But this is exactly why they'll stay in mediocrity. If they aren't willing to fail, they aren't able to learn from their mistakes. If they never learn, they'll never grow and develop into something more. Would you like me to give you a formula for success? It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failure. You are thinking of failure as the enemy of success,
Mm-hmm.
but it isn't at all. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. So go ahead and make mistakes. Make all you can. Because remember, that's where you will find success. Thomas J. Watson. If
Nice.
you're not willing to fail, you guarantee you'll stay average at best. If you want to grow into an extraordinary version of yourself, you must be willing to fail. A lot. Failure brings humility.
True.
It develops your character. It helps you laugh at your mistakes and not take things so seriously. Like a plant placed from the shade into sunlight, your growth rate will accelerate 10 times. When I first started blogging, I was terrified of one thing in particular: negative feedback. I still remember to this day a comment from an early article that read, "This is the worst article I've ever read." I was broken up about it for months. After that, I made all my articles as vanilla and non controversial as possible. Before I hit publish, I would ask myself, no one could criticize this, right? I was terrified of failure and rejection.
I think that's something that a lot of us resonate with, or part of us can identify with. Me personally, I have, I guess, a little anecdote, but on one of my pages on TikTok, I had posted a snippet of a song which I was getting ready to release a while back, and I remember one of the comments I got was he was just like he like, bro, this is trash. Like, don't release this. Oh, this is my song called praying you don't. That was the title of the song, which was eventually released. And the snippet which I released it, um the comment read like, praying you don't release this. And at first, like, the immediate emotional reaction I had was like, dang, like that's, it hurt. It struck a chord, but then I kind of like sat with it for a little bit. It was like maybe 2 minutes or whatnot, and I was just looking at it. I just started laughing. I was like, dang, so this is what, because I was able to catch myself in that moment in which I was having that emotional reaction, and I was like, oh wow, so this is, it felt like it was an experience I was having, which felt like I guess a learning moment, say the least. It was, I don't know. It felt profound in that moment, and I typed back, I replied back, and I just replied back with the laughing emojis. I was like, man, you funny. And then they replied back, and they were like, nah, man, I'm just playing with you. I'm glad someone out there, can take a joke. And we had a little chat at that point, but turned out he was just kidding about it, and he liked the song. But that was just, it was shaking. It was, yeah, it was that. But let's get back to the video.
As a result, my writing stayed mediocre and average for years, until I finally started to embrace the possibility of failure. Benjamin Hardy put it this way: don't seek praise, seek criticism.
Bro, all right, I'm pausing a lot. But I was talking to my friend Ben, great friend of mine. He does photography and videography. You guys should check out his page. I'll be nice and I'll leave the link to his page under the bottom of this video. But he had a problem. Sorry, Ben. If you don't want me to speak much anymore, just let me know. But anyways, I was talking to him, and he had this problem where he didn't really know how to handle criticism, or he didn't know how to approach constructive criticism. And this was something that I had learned through I think it was a rough time at my point, but it was. I just had to sit with myself for a moment and understand what I wanted. I think it was a defensive mechanism in a way where I sought criticism as opposed to seeking praise. But I think that's defensive mechanism to kind of just mitigate suffering or disappointment, or whatnot. But it helps in turn because it molded me in such a way where I wasn't afraid to be told no, or I wasn't afraid to be told that what I was doing was bad, or what I do somebody didn't relate to what I was doing. And that's what I was when I had that conversation with my friend. I was explaining to him or advising him that whenever he does put out work, whenever he does post a picture or post a video, maybe send it to the group chat, or post it online, just ask people. This is what I do with my writings too, but ask people, hey, is there anything which you don't like about this work or about this project? And that can kind of just, I think that also opens a new perspective on your work too, because as you're working on it, you probably have this idea, oh, this is going to be great, this is going to be um the next big thing or whatnot. And then you give it to people, especially people you're closely related to, and then you might be expecting good news because these are people who love you, who care for you, and you feel like they shouldn't tell you, give you any kind of negative feedback. But I think the reality of the situation is that when you put out this work, of course, in some sense, you feel like it's belongs to you, it's tethered to you. You spend so much time in it, and there's this emotional apprehension over it. But once you put it out, it's there for the people. It's there for any onlookers, any participants, and so I think it's just good to have that mindset as that we're explaining this video. The quote from Benjamin Hardy, you know, if you have uh, that prioritize that thinking prioritize where you're like, see the way they phrase it, seeking criticism, but when you're understanding that there is a chance that your work can be criticized, as long as you keep that uh uh that thinking in your mind frame. I feel like you can mitigate any disappointment or any of the sort. But yeah, I had that conversation with friends, so it was just interesting. I relate to this. I relate to it.
Benjamin Hardy put it this way: don't seek praise, seek criticism.
Indubitably.
If you embrace the possibility of failure, you open yourself up to enormous success
Right.
you've never seen before.
The mediocre majority doesn't value learning. Every skill you acquire doubles your odds of success. That's true. That's true. I can say more on that, but I'm gonna let the video play out. I'm gonna let the video.
Most people would choose entertainment and distraction instead of learning and growing.
Yeah.
It's not surprising. Learning is hard. Going to counselling, becoming a student of your craft, and constantly failing aren't fun. In the words of Hal Elrod, repetition can be boring or tedious, which is why so few people ever master anything. This is great news for the rest of us, though. Uber successful entrepreneur Darren Hardy once remarked that he's always glad when something is difficult, because that means most people won't ever do it.
Not for real.
The competition will always be low. Prioritizing learning and self-education may be new for you, but know this: for every day you read a book, millions of others didn't. For every morning you woke up early to create and produce, millions of others slept in. For every day you kept going, millions of others quit.
Just don't quit for one more day.
Ironically, the fiercest competition is for the second-class prizes. Once you prioritize learning, you become aware of the 1% of opportunities that are truly life-changing. More importantly,
Oh,
these opportunities have incredibly less competition.
When people are asked on
dang.
surveys, what's the
I
number
forgot to
one
take out the
reason for
ad on my
failure?
other
Do you know what
video.
they say? Because it isn't lack of.
Most people will continue fighting for scraps with the mediocre majority. That's a game you don't want to win. Instead, quit the game entirely. Leave the crowd. Choose learning and self-education instead of entertainment and distraction.
Winners act like winners before they become a winner.
Deep down,
Manifestation.
most people don't think they have what it takes to be extraordinary. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Of course,
Mm.
if you don't believe you can, you surely won't. I blogged for 4 years and never got more than 200 subscribers. Looking back, I see now that I never really believed I could produce truly great writing. In the past couple months, I've gained more than 5,000 subscribers. This is because I started to take my writing seriously, started to take myself seriously. I began believing in myself. I started acting like a winner before I found any success. So what did I do? I bought a $500 writing course. I started waking up at 6 a.m. every day to write.
Mm.
I've spent hundreds of dollars on personal development books. I treat myself like someone who knows they're one of the best writers on the internet. Soon, I will be. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. Napoleon Hill. I found that once you tell your mind what to do, it will make it happen. Right now, my sole goal is to gain 100,000 email subscribers over 6 months. What's crazy is I actually believe this can happen. As a result, my mind is always subconsciously finding solutions to make this happen. Most people will never experience the surge of excitement after beginning to truly believe enormous success is possible. Winners act like winners before they become winners.
Speaking more on that, like I guess another relation of mine, but I kind of had the same sense too. I explained it one of the videos I made on my other channels, on my past channel, which I've since taken down. But it was a shower therapy video, but it was just explaining my uh my routes or my the oscillation of my self confidence. You know, the story of my self confidence and how it took place. And I don't want to, you know, I won't get too much into it, but after a certain while, at certain points, I had I lost self confidence to an, or I didn't lose self confidence. I forgot how to explain it. I had lost, what did I lose? Did I lose? I don't know. But anyways, I regained this belief in myself again to the, I want to get it down. I'm thinking about it though. I didn't lose self confidence. I lost what's it? Lost, it's not coming to me. I didn't lose self confidence though, but I had regained this idea where, oh, self deservingness. That's what I lost. Like I always had belief that I could do this, that, and the third, but I got to a point where I didn't believe that I had deserved all the quote unquote good attributes or the beneficial attributes that I had acquired or that I had up to that point in time. And, you know, but after a while, like I said, I got to a point where it came back. And, you know, having that mindset reestablished, I started seeing things in a new way. And like you said, tell your mind what to do, it will make it happen. You know, believe you can succeed. So now I have this belief in myself with all I'm doing, you know, my idea of success might differ from the next person in line, but whatever your idea of success is, or for me personally, you know, that those that definition that I have for success is there, and I truly believe that with all I'm doing, I'll eventually be able to make it happen. And so, winners act like winners before they become winners, and I believe that to be true. And you know, I follow it wholeheartedly. So, just a little more on that.
After beginning to truly believe enormous success is possible. Winners act like winners before they become winners.
Winners.
They believe they can succeed, and their mind starts working on how to get there.
Seek money and titles, not experience and transformation. People are unhappy in large part because they are confused about what is valuable. Oh, okay. I thought it was saying to seek money and titles, but it was just explaining why you're unhappy. It's because you seek money and titles. But yeah, no. This whole channel is about, you know, self exploration. You know, seeking experience and transformation, trying to become the highest you can become. My fault. Tripping on wires here.
Back when I was 23, and all I had was a little blog with less than 50 views a day, I joined an entrepreneur networking group.
Mm.
These guys were intimidating. They wore suits and laughed at weird jokes and liked going to bars where a beer cost $11. They called themselves founders and CEOs and investors. I quit going after a few weeks. There were many great guys and girls in that group who were kind and passionate. But there were also many members who just liked talking about their title. Titles don't mean much anymore. Anyone can be an expert or a CEO of anything. If titles and money are what you chase, I guarantee you'll reach the end of that road feeling empty and sad. The most important goals you should have should be experiential learning and personal transformation. If you're always chasing success, it will constantly elude you. In the words of Viktor Frankl, for success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue. But if you always prioritize incredible personal transformation and paradigm-shifting experiences, success will gravitate towards you, as if you were a magnet. I've just finished reading Memoirs of a Geisha. It's an incredibly sad story of a girl sold into slavery of pleasing men. The saddest part is that the young geisha doesn't even realize she's spending her whole life chasing the wrong thing, trying to make a man love her. She believed if she could perform well enough, the affections of this man would finally give her the healing and fulfillment she always wanted. Most people spend their lives chasing the wrong things: money, sex, security, and recognition. These won't give you what you want. Forget about titles and impressing others. Focus on becoming a person you are incredibly proud to be.
Spend more time being jealous than working on succeeding. The time you spend being jealous of others' success is time they spent working. Guess which one is more valuable? John Westenberg.
Every moment you spend being jealous is a moment wasted. We don't have much time in this world. The most successful and renowned individuals have often commented later in life how surprisingly fast it all went. You don't have time to be jealous. If you constantly look to the actions of others, you rarely act like yourself. Your values and behavior have a harder time aligning, making you unhappy and empty. Personal incongruency is what causes so much of our pain. Not being you will destroy you.
Ooh,
Tim
personal
Denning.
incongruence.
Instead of wasting away in mediocrity, playing the comparison game, choose to spend that time working on yourself instead. I once heard being jealous and resentful is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
I thought that was an eerily accurate description. One of the best pieces of advice I've heard on this topic was 4 simple words: stay in your lane. It doesn't matter how much faster they're going. It doesn't matter how much faster you're going. If you keep looking at other lanes, you're going to crash.
Right.
Focus on you. Learn all you can. Experiment. Fail. Discover what works. Soon, you'll build momentum. And one day, you'll look around you and marvel at just how damn fast you're going. Cut out jealousy. Spend all your spare time learning and growing.
In conclusion, the moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life, it's the day you claim the power to change anything, the power to change anything in your life. How I will roll. That's just once again especially true. A lot of things for me changed just in my perspective and overall feeling of self. You know, when I took it upon myself to be responsible for one, like the quote says, everything in my life. So any ups and downs, any moment in which I felt like I was lacking something or felt like I was gaining something in a moment, I just placed that all underneath my name, all underneath my doing. Now that's not to say I didn't give, credit where credit was due. I know becoming whatever you wish to become is more than just, you. It's not, they're working, moving pieces around you, which are helping to uh, bring about what it is you wish for. But if you can take on this mindset in which where you just look to everything and okay, so everything is outside of you, and then all you're doing as an individual, as this quote is advocating for, whether good or bad, right or wrong, however you wish to categorize it, just take into it and accept it as it is and say, whatever comes about from it, you just have an understanding of what you want to do about it, how you're going to go about it. And whenever you see the circumstances unravel in your life, you take credit for it, whether good or bad, right or wrong. You say, okay, this happened. Maybe I lost $10,000, or maybe things didn't go with the way I wanted to, or maybe things went the way you wanted to. You're able to sit with yourself and say, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is what happened, this is what I can do to make the next thing happen, or to alleviate some of the pressure on this end, and just being able to place yourself in the center, not in such a way where you're becoming, narcissistic and saying everything's all about you, but everything falls back on you. Not that's a good quote. Not everything is about you, but if you can accept that everything falls on you, whoo, gotta write that down. That was a good
Most
quote.
people will stay in mediocrity. They'll continue fighting with the majority for average, subpar prizes. It doesn't have to be this way. The road that leads to an incredibly exciting, fulfilling life is waiting for you. It's free and open, and there are no crowds. Making the shift from an ordinary life to an extraordinary life is one of the most exciting decisions you'll ever make. The learning, growing, and development on this path will make you feel more alive than you've ever felt. Choose success over mediocrity.
True success.
Choose learning instead of entertainment. Choose personal growth instead of jealousy.
Great video, guys. What more can I say on that? I was speaking towards the end about choosing self growth, personal growth, or instead of jealousy, instead of entertainment. Me personally, I always say to each their own. Each person is going to do as they please or as they know. But if you do come across information such as this, I would advise you or suggest, I don't like giving advice, but I do speak about myself or in reference to myself. And so, once the story is explained about me, you can just read the story and, you know, take what you think is necessary for yourself or what is beneficial for you. But I personally, I don't get excited when it comes to material stuff or things outside of me. I'm very, how do I phrase it? I just look, I like, I'm very metaphysical, I guess, if you can think about it as that. But like, the things I care about is very much in regards to family, in regards to uh, being able, provision, being able to produce for loved ones, and to be there emotionally, mentally, or I don't know. Like I said, I'm not into all the material stuff. But like I said, to each their own. And so I never bash anybody who said, "Oh, I'm doing this to, get this new car or get this new house or impress this girl." By all means, do what you deem necessary. But I have this personal understanding and belief that you know such goals in the end, will always have you chasing, will always have you looking for something outside of you. But me personally, I could be at home and maybe, I don't have the biggest house or the fastest car, but for some reason, even though without all those accolades, those titles, those uh, material things, I still feel the same amounts of happiness or same amount of contentness, serenity as an individual who just got a new car or an individual who just bought new house, so if we could still feel the same way on the inside as each other in those moments, but like I like also the thing in that instance, that new house eventually gets old, that new car eventually starts to break down, have problems or whatnot. But I will always be with myself, I will always feel as I feel because I choose to feel this way because I'm looking within. Like I said, I'm a better writer than I am a speaker, but hopefully I'm getting better at this. Hopefully you guys notice too. I feel much more confident speaking to the camera right now, but still more ways to go. But anyways, if you are not going to no, wrong. Let's take that back. Leave a like. Yeah, leave a like. Turn on post notifications and hit the subscribe button. If you're not going to do any of that, at the very least, please do leave a comment. I would like to have a conversation with you. Good day. I just be rubbing my hands a lot. Jeez.